Hello students, today we are going to learn a very interesting and a very simple topic in mathematics. Now what the topic is, for that I will give you an example. Suppose there is a warm-up match, football warm-up match happening, and we have three top players. Say we have Ronaldo, we have Messi, and we have Neymar. Okay, so the game goes like this, that Ronaldo passes the balls to Messi, then he passes it to Neymar. Neymar again passes back to Messi. Then Messi passes the ball to Ronaldo. Ronaldo giving it to Neymar again. So this is how it keeps going on in any game. Now, since the number of players were less and also the time limit of the game was less, so I could draw this neat and nice diagram. But what if this game goes for a longer period? And what if we have more number of players? Then making such diagrams will be very tedious. On the top of all, if somebody tells you to put this data of passes of ball, of passing of the ball to computer, or somebody tells you to put this complete information in computer, then the question is whether the computer will understand this diagram language or not. So the answer is absolutely not, because computer don't understand this language. So what do we do next? Some alternative has to be taken off. We need to find out some or the other way. So what we will be doing is the same information of this warm-up game, we are going to express it in a tabular form. See how. What we will do is, first we will write the name of the players who are passing the ball. Say there is Ronaldo, there is Messi, and there is Neymar. Then we will also write to whom these players have passed the ball to. We will write it over here. So we have Ronaldo, we have Messi, and we have Neymar. So this is how I am going to put the complete data of the warm-up game in the respective boxes. See how I am doing that. Now since I know that Ronaldo cannot pass the ball to Ronaldo, so the entry over here, that is Ronaldo passing the ball to Ronaldo, will be 0. Similarly, let us check how many balls or how many passes has Ronaldo given to Messi. So again, coming back to the diagram, see Ronaldo has given ball to Messi once. So this entry is going to be 1. So like that we fill up all other entries. So you can see that from diagram we can fill up these entries very easily. Make sure that you have understood this concept. Ronaldo has given no ball to Ronaldo, so we have entered 0 here. Same happens with Messi and that happens with Neymar. And from the diagram it is very clear that Ronaldo passes 1 ball to Messi, hence the entry is coming as 1. Ronaldo, how many balls it has passed to Neymar? See, there's a 1 arrow coming here, so I have mentioned 1 here, and like that for the other entries. So this is a very simple way, isn't it? That from the diagram, just see how many passes have come, or without the diagram also you can just enter the number and get total number of passes. So this is how you enter your data in a tabular form. Now I will just make a rectangular box over here. So what I have done basically is I have entered numbers or say information in rows and columns enclosed in a rectangular box. This is nothing but called as a matrix. This is nothing but a matrix, and that's what the topic for the day is. Today we are going to learn a very interesting topic called as matrices. So let's continue doing so. Now we have a list of 4 numbers, say 1, 3, 5 and 8. We will arrange these 4 numbers in different array form. How? Let's see that. First we can arrange these 4 numbers in an array which is very horizontal, like in a row. Similarly, we can arrange these 4 numbers in a array in a vertical form. What you have done here is you have placed all these numbers in one row. See, there is only one row, and how many columns are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So these 4 numbers were first arranged in a horizontal manner in one row and 4 columns. Now the same number later in second method were placed in a vertical array which had 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 rows and only one column. So this is how you can arrange those 4 numbers. There is one more way in which you can arrange these 4 numbers. What is that? You can arrange 2 numbers together in a row followed by the other 2 numbers in the other row. So basically you have 2 rows and you have 2 columns here. So these are the different possible ways in which you can arrange your 4 numbers in an array manner. Now I think we are in a position to understand matrices a little better way. From these examples, what we have concluded is that numbers can, or say not just numbers, you can also take letters or you can take even symbols. They can be arranged in a array manner in the form of rows and columns, and they can be enclosed in a rectangular bracket. This arrangement or this setting is nothing but called as matrices. That is what is the definition talks about. That definition of matrices is a rectangular arrangement. What kind of arrangement we are talking about? Rectangular arrangement of numbers. So you have numbers, or you could even have symbols and letters which are arranged in rows and columns. These are important, that you arrange your numbers, letters and symbols, any of these, in rows and column, and then enclose it in a, say, either in a square bracket, or even if the round bracket is used, it's completely fine. Such an arrangement is called as matrix. So all the above examples which I gave, that these examples which I gave are nothing but they are matrices. Okay, so we will be studying this matrices henceforth. Now let me give you another few examples. So first question coming your way is this a matrix? See, what I have done is, again I took few numbers, I have arranged them in 2 rows and 2 columns. So yes, this is a matrix. What about this? How many rows and columns you have? Again, you have 1 row and you have 2 columns. So by definition, this is going to be a matrix. What if I give you this examples? See here, you have numbers which are arranged in rows and columns. Is it a matrix? The question, is it a matrix? You will say, as per the definition, they are being arranged in rows and columns and enclosed in a square bracket. So they should be matrix. But the answer is no. Why? Because there is a term which is missing here. So the proper definition of matrix is arrangement of numbers in rows and columns. Which arrangement? Rectangular arrangement, such that each row or column should have same number of elements. What is important is each rows or column should have same number of elements. See here, the first row had 2 elements, but the second row only had 1 element. So this is not the example of a matrix. What about this example? Is it a matrix? See, first row has 2 elements, but the second row has 3 elements. Or if you talk about columns, then the first and the second column has 2 elements, but the third one doesn't have an element over here. So as per the definition, this should not be a matrix. Okay. What if I insert an element here? Say, if I write it as 2, 4, 3, 5 and say 9 and 9 again. Now, is the same example a matrix? Yes, because I have arranged my numbers in a rectangular array with rows and column having equal number of elements. Meaning of equal number is, see, first row has 3 elements, second row also had 3 elements. First column had 2 elements, second column also had 2 elements, and the third column also had 2 elements. So this is how the matrices definition is. Now, as we have learned matrices, look at this example again. Is it looking complete? Is it looking complete? Something is missing out. What is that something which is missing out? the name of the matrix. We should have a proper name to every matrix, isn't it so? So let us try to understand, is there any restriction or condition on naming of matrices? The answer is yes. It's not a restriction basically. There is a standard in which you can write down the names of matrices. So the rule says that whenever you have a matrix, you name them with capital letters. Like say any capital letter from English, 26 letters you can use, but they have to be capital, and this is how the name of the matrix will be. Now this is also a matrix, so you can say Z is equal to this. So a capital letter followed by equal to and your matrix. So I've simply written this for your understanding, naming of matrices. How do you name your matrix? So matrix are often named with capital letters, and I've put up one example. A, the capital letter, equal to followed by your matrix. Now let me take you towards a very interesting part. I'll give you an homework, or you can think it now also, that all of you are familiar with this equation, system of equation. Have you all seen this in your school days? Absolutely yes, everyone has seen this. Now my question to you all is whether you can write this in a matrix form or not. It's a big question coming your way. Can you write this in matrix form? Yes or no? Please comment in your chat box and we will get back to this concept in our next videos. For that, keep watching the video and do subscribe the channel. Thank you.